Welcome to Ubuntu Sports Podcast. Springboks 45, England 21. What a matchup! What a matchup! What a matchup! But like I said, the English were coming to get a rugby lesson at Ellis Park. As expected, as predicted, the Springboks gave them a bit of a hiding. There was a few moments of lack in concentration from the Springboks, but at the end of the day, they got the job done, and they were just too strong for England at the end of the day. So South Africa raced into 17 points lead in the first 12 minutes of the game, with Thomas du Toit and Colby and Arendse all getting across the line early. There's a brilliant try by Colby, brilliant try by Arendse as well as du Toit. It was an awesome game to watch. I think they all had a good game today. England looked overawed, if that's the right word to use for the occasion. They're coming off a loss already from their previous game, so they have a lot to polish up and try get right for their next game. It couldn't have been an easy coming from a loss and then coming to face the world champions like the Springboks. The Boks captains here, Kolisi, unfortunately today, as well as Eben Etzebeth, were both injured, which is quite a bummer. But the team still did well, just to show the amount of depth we have in the squad. So I really hope they get it. These guys come back soon enough, because we've got some tough games coming up. We've got some tough games coming up in this Nation Championship. I had no idea how this Nation Championship works, to be honest with you, the whole format. I saw there was Northern Hemisphere teams as well as Southern Hemisphere teams. The only thing I don't like about that is that I feel like they're using us to prepare for the World Cup next year. I want to come as a surprise for the teams next year in the World Cup, for them not to know what we're carrying in our locker. Obviously we play teams like New Zealand and Australia, as well as Argentina in the rugby championship. But I feel like this Nation Championship, it gives them experience against us, and I don't want that. I really don't want that, but that's fine. Whether they practice against us or not, we're still going to dominate, I also don't like this New Zealand tour coming up, because I also feel like New Zealand are going to get good preparation for the World Cup next year, having to play South African clubs like the Stormers, Sharks and Lions and Bulls, and then also having to play the Springboks. So I'm not comfortable with that, because I feel like, why are we allowing these guys to prepare through South Africa for the World Cup next year? But that's fine as well, because I feel like there will be some young talent, upcoming talent from South Africa that would want to prove themselves against New Zealand, which will be great to watch, and great to see some guys, playing their hearts out, just so that they can make it into the Springbok squad to prove that this is what they can do against New Zealand as well. So that's going to be quite exciting. To England's credit, right? They drawed the deficit to 3 points by halftime. So by halftime it was 17-14. Through gritty solo scores from Ellis George as well as George Martin. That was a good comeback for them, but I also feel like those tries were soft. We shouldn't have let. I mean, there was a time where they were on our line. Look, we got a yellow card for, I think it was Aransa, and hence why they ended up scoring the first try. But the second try, I just feel like the guys just slacked off a bit because they felt like it was half time. They wanted to, get back into the change room, and they just lapse of concentration. Next thing you know, these guys score a quick try to make it 17-14. So I wasn't quite happy with that, but that's fine. Because I knew that we were going to have a stronger second half. Jamie George actually thought he scored a try, but they disallowed it, saying that he was offside. I don't know, it was a very tough call. Hey, I didn't see how he was offside, but I saw what he tried to do by trying to snipe the try, and I'm not sure if he dotted it down because the defending Springbok player, I think it was the flank or lock, I thought he kind of snatched it away, held it up, but he could have actually got it down. But I'm not quite sure how they saw the offside through VAR. So, that wasn't, I don't know if they should have given that or not. It was a tough call, I think. Unfortunately, it didn't go in England's favor. It went towards the Springboks' favor. But, I mean, how many times have we seen calls go against the Springboks when we know that they're in the right, So, but very interesting half. The second half was also quite an interesting thing. So, second half, what happened is that, So second half, South Africa reasserted control of the game after the half, of course, and then, I can't get over Grant Williams. I think he's better than Kobus Reinach, and I think he's also better than Faf du Plessis. That's my opinion, anyway. You're allowed to have yours, of course. But we saw some brilliant play from Grant Williams as well as Jesse Creel in the first 16 minutes of the second half with their tries. Williams had a dummy and a single try, as well. And that wasn't a bad try by him as well, I must say. Then, to kill the game off for England, there was bad discipline on their behalf. They ended up getting 2 yellow cards, close to the 17th minute, where both players were missing in the last 10 minutes of the game, which is, it just made it a walkover for us after that, But unfortunately, when you come across, when you play against the world champions like the Springboks, they going to put a tremendous amount of pressure on you to make you make such mistakes, and you end up getting sent off, and you end up getting yellow cards, and they really make it difficult for you. So, and that's what the Springboks did for England, and it was just too much at the end for England to even have a chance to try win that game, or to try even come close to even maybe equalizing and stuff. It was a beautiful game to watch at Ellis Park. I think must have been 55,000 filled up the stadium today. You could see that there's a lot of support for the Springboks. Everybody loves the Springboks. It's quite interesting how sports has been uniting South Africa these days, and I guess that's all we can really use to make ourselves feel together in this country with all the mess that's been going on with the politics and everything that's going on around South Africa right now. But I'm sure it's not just South Africa, it's everywhere around the world right now where there's a lot of drama happening around the world for some reason. But anyway, let's get back to sports. The Springboks have got Wales next, if I'm correct. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure out this Nations Championship format because there's Southern Hemisphere teams as well as Northern Hemisphere teams. So we just have to see which one, how that's going to work, if they're all going to play each other. Because, if we've got this New Zealand tour that's going to take place in August, I can't imagine that we're going to be playing every single weekend before playing, getting ready for that New Zealand tour, But who knows anyway, but we'll see how that goes. But once again, the Springboks gave England a rugby lesson. It was a very epic game to watch. I kind of feel sorry for England. Like, they just never have a chance against us, man. We whipped them in the World Cup. We whipped them at Twickenham in their home stadium. We whipped them wherever we come across England. We give them a hiding. And show them who we are as South Africa, as the Springboks. So I was excited about giving them a hiding again. I can't wait actually to take on Ireland. Ireland and France need to be shown exactly who we are. I was so annoyed by that lucky win that Ireland got in South Africa last year. We beat them, of course, in Ireland, and we hadn't done that for almost, 11 years or something crazy. But they had one lucky one in South Africa against us. But the first one that we played against them in South Africa, we beat them. So I want Ireland again because, they seem to think that they've got this one over us or something. But we just need to put them in their place and actually show them who we are as the Springboks. So Ireland, France, we gave them a hiding towards the end of last year. Around, was it November or December? I'm not quite sure. But, we beat them in France, and we hadn't played them since the World Cup when we defeated them, that close call. So they really wanted to revenge against us in France last year. But we just came there, we gave them a hiding, even with all the yellow cards that we were getting in the match. But, we gave them a whipping. But, so those are the teams that I really want to show this to. And in fact, I also want to whip Australia's ass. I want to whip Australia. I want to whip New Zealand. So these are my 4 teams that I really want to beat this season or this year. Is Ireland, France, Australia, and New Zealand. And then, then we get ready for the World Cup in 2027. See you for the next game.